Good morning once again, everyone. So we have a special guest speaker with us today, which is why things are a little different here at the end. So with us today is Mr. Kevin Becker. Kevin Becker is from Long Island, New York. He's involved with Frassati USA, a nonprofit organization devoted to spreading the life and spirituality of St. Pier Giorgio Frassati. In 2011, Kevin, then a college student at East Stroudsburg University in Pennsylvania, fell about 15 feet from a roof of a house he shared with his roommates. The fall resulted in serious injuries. His doctor warned that even if he survived, he might have permanent cognitive deficits or even more severe disabilities. A cousin of Kevin's suggested invoking Frassati's intercession, since he is young, athletic, and somewhat similar in life experience to Kevin at the time. While Kevin was in a coma following his fall, his family began praying a novena to Pier Giorgio Frassati. They placed a picture of Frassati at Kevin's bedside as well. After several days, Kevin opened his eyes and slowly began to recover. He not only regained basic functions, but his recovery was notably rapid and unusual given the severity of the injury. He left the ICU fairly soon afterward, regained memory, speech, and physical mobility. While in his coma, Kevin reported that he was visited by an angel figure. After he awoke, his mother showed him the picture of Frassati, and he identified that image as being the angel figure who had accompanied him. After the accident and recovery, Kevin resumed his college education and completed his degree. He has engaged in public speaking, sharing his testimony about faith, healing, and Frassati. I now introduce to you Mr. Kevin Becker. You want him up?
I can put this one down.
Yeah.
Okay. This one too?
Yeah.
Here you
Up there.
go. Oh, you have that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So these two pieces that I brought with me today, the nice gold shiny thing, that is a second-class relic of Giorgio Frassati. That is a piece of his original coffin. When they exhumed his body for the cause of canonization under John Paul II, when they dug up his body, they found that it was still his body was still incorrupt. So his body, since 1925 up to 2025, is believed to be still incorrupt. So when they moved his body for a World Youth Day in Australia, I believe in 2005, due to the fact that he died of polio, they weren't sure, since he was, if the illness could still be transmitted. So they moved him into another coffin. So this is a piece of his original coffin, and all of you will have a chance to venerate it. Now the picture that you may not be able to see, I'll just pull it up real quickly. This is the picture that was put next to me when I was in a coma. So I'll get into a little bit of when the picture was arrived, and we'll go from there. So I just want to thank Holy Trinity for having me speak here. I always like to thank God for all these opportunities when it comes to speaking. It's been quite a journey. I've been doing this for 10 years now. So I always thank God for all these opportunities to share my story and just give you another emphasis to believe in your power of prayer, believe in your faith, because it is very powerful and it does really, really work. So in 2011, just about to enter my second year at the University of East Stroudsburg in Pennsylvania. Moved into an off-campus house with two of my teammates. I was playing lacrosse for the school. And I can always remember that leading up to the day I got hurt, just being just grateful for where I was. It was a very tricky time in my life, in my family's life. My grandma was battling with lung cancer. My uncle was dealing with his own health. I had a friend of mine that was in a coma as well about a month before me. So it was just grateful to be put in the position where I was, and very happy to be moving into a okay house, not the best house. If you watch a documentary on YouTube, you'll kind of see your typical college house. But I was happy moving to my 2 roommates, 2 of my good friends, and just a sense of invincibility. Just didn't really know, couldn't expect anything to happen. This is going to be like the perfect year. So we're getting ready, everything's getting ready, the house is getting put together, getting our cable set up, getting the house set up, how we wanted to set up our rooms downstairs. And there was the house had, a few roofs. My room I chose had a nice roof on it that I could go out on. And I always told my parents the reason why I chose the roof, just so I could, I was in Pennsylvania. You can't really stargaze on Long Island unless you really get to the ocean. And I really got a good sense of just going onto that roof and being able to stargaze a little bit. Little did I know that would eventually lead to this tragic accident. But at that mindset, silly college kid, and did not think anything of it. On August 25th, leading into August 26th, a lot of things changed. We're about a few days before the school year is about to start. Everybody's moving in. All our friends are coming in. And we decided, we're like, well, we're having a little get-together. We're all getting back together, just talking about how our summers were, how great a year it's going to be. And that's when everything changed. I went up to bed a little bit earlier that night, and around 12 o'clock that night, my girlfriend at the time calls my mom. And she tells my mom, Mrs. Becker, your son is going to the hospital. We think he fell off the roof of his house, but we don't know much about his injuries. Now, when I talk about my miracle, I always like to talk about these mini miracles that happen along the way to make this even possible. Thankfully for where I was hurt, the hospital was maybe Pocono Medical Center, maybe about a mile away from my house. So getting from my house to the hospital was a very quick transition. My friend who found my body, him leaving at the perfect time, because it's not like, with the severity of my head injury, it's not like oh, you know what, we can wait 2 hours, we can wait 3 hours. It wasn't an hour-by-hour thing. It wasn't a minute-by-minute. It was a second-by-second. So every second mattered for my life. So when my friend was able to, when my friend did go to leave, seeing me was very vital as well. So get to the hospital, get stabilized, and that's when the doctor that was treating me had to call my parents and had to speak with my dad. And then he tells my dad that Kevin suffered some really severe brain injury, and we can't treat him here. And we're going to have to transfer him to a Lehigh Valley hospital. And my dad was like, okay, should I wake up his 2 brothers? And the doctor simply said to him, yes, you're going to want to wake up his 2 brothers, because we're not really sure if Kevin is going to make it to the next hospital. So right from there, my dad's one of 12, very faithful family. So right from that phone call, Dad grabs his Bible, my mom grabs her rosary beads, my older brother, he grabs his rosary beads, and my little brother, for some of you, freshmen, there's some freshmen in here. This is my little brother's first week of school. He went to Kellenberg, so I'm sorry, I can't say it's not Holy Trinity, but he was first year at Kellenberg. He didn't know how badly I was hurt. He did grab his pillows, so don't feel bad. But it was for him, it was very difficult. But so get to the hospital. Dad's on the phone with his 11 brothers and sisters. They're on their way to the hospital. Prayers are already starting right from there. And we get to learn, once we get to Lehigh Valley, we get to learn a little bit more about how severe these injuries are. So I traumatized every lobe of my brain. to the worst position you would want it to be. And I also fractured my skull in 5 places. Now, the fracturing the skull was actually pretty, as severe, as bad as that sounds, and it does sound really bad, it also was a very good thing, because usually with a brain injury like mine, they might have to do other sort of operations, but with the skull fractures, it did allow them to perform a procedure that was able to help with, you should say, lessening the pressure on the swelling of my brain, and also just to be able to, measure my brain and brain spiking. So, not really, not the best thing to happen, but at the same time, it helped out a little bit. So, from that day on, for a couple of days, as your principal mentioned, it was like that. It was every single day, every single second while I was in a coma, it was pretty much doctors going up to my parents saying, he's probably, it was more or less, he wasn't going to make it, and if he did not make it, I was going to be severely cognitively disabled. And it was very scary for them, up to the worst day of my stay there, which was the 5th day. On the 5th day, that is actually the day while I was in a coma where my body did decide that it was time and it was over. My brain was spiking, I was running a fever, parts of my body were swelling up, and at that point, nothing looked like I was going to make it, or even, who knows what was going to happen from there. And one of the doctors went to my dad and older brother in the room and simply said to them, "You can't keep on going like this. You can't keep on going like this. We have to do something soon." So when it was mentioned is that I was in a coma, I wasn't in a medicated coma. Right from the moment I hit the ground from my roof, I was already in a coma, and their suggestion was to possibly put me into a medicated coma. And if they did follow through on that, this conversation might be a lot different, or I would probably more likely would have not made it. But also on that 5th day is the day where my cousin Beth, like I said, my dad's one of 12, so I have 42 cousins. So a lot of outside sources that are helping and praying at the same time. And she had this strong devotion to Giorgio Frassati, somebody that I had never heard of, my parents had never heard of, nobody in the Becker family had ever heard of Giorgio Frassati. And she said, "Hey, he's a blessed now, and he needs a second miracle. Kevin, he clearly needs a miracle at this point, so we got to start this novena." So you start praying this novena. The doctors mentioning of possibly putting me into a medicated coma, that decision, they decided not to follow through on that, and there was still a chance. And on the 7th day, my cousin notifies my mom that she's mailing a picture of Giorgio, the place next to my bed. Now, I believe with his first miracle that happened back in 1933, something similar to this happened, where a picture of him showed up. This man who had, very bad illness, was magically healed from the showing up of this picture. So that's what kind of gave her the idea. So the picture of Giorgio shows up. It's placed next to my bed on the 8th day. And that's the first time that I started waking up. My eyes opened up. Now, when it comes to the whole, when is a person officially awake from a coma, you have to give them you have to give them an action. So even though my eyes were awake, I still wasn't officially pronounced awake from my coma, because I wasn't giving them what the doctors wanted at that time, which is a simple thumbs up. Now, if you watch a documentary, you'll understand that there's moments while while they're doing this process where I was showing motions where I just didn't want to give a thumbs up. I was kind of fighting it. But on the 9th day, my uncle, my godfather, and his son were in the room. And as they're leaving, my dad goes to me. He goes, "Hey, Kev, is there something you want to do for your cousin James and your uncle Luke?" And I gave him a thumbs up. And right from there, all those days of waiting, right? All those days of waiting for my parents. Remember, I had no clue what happened to me. All those days of waiting, all this doubt, all this, he's not going to make it. Some nurses were saying it's probably best if he doesn't wake up. My parents' prayers, all the family's prayers were starting to be answered. That was just step one. On the following day, while I was in a coma, my family stayed at this hotel that was maybe a quarter mile from the hospital. It was literally just right across, right through the parking lot. And on that morning, my parents were humming, but whenever you walk into the hospital, you never know what to expect. Even though I was awake, there's still nerves. So when my mom walked into the hospital that day, the nurses started sprinting up to her. And when especially after what they had just gone through, it's a little nerve-wracking, it's a little scary, and the nurse just goes, "Hey, this is a really good day." And my mom's like, "Well, this is a really good day?" And she's like, "Yeah, Kevin's asking for you." And she's like, "Whoa, right? This is unbelievable." And when she got there, from her words, these are from her words, not my words, because I don't remember it, but she was just saying how I said I was sorry and that I loved her. So she was starting to get her prayers answered. Now, like your principal said, this was a very quick recovery. So I was in a coma for 9 days, and pretty much right from the moment I woke up, things started happening rapidly. So usually the process with an injury like mine is to do inpatient therapy, and the doctors could recognize that the pace I was healing, that they were going to have to try to get me into inpatient therapy. But 9 days later, so I walked out of the hospital in 18 days. It was too late. I walked out of the hospital, only minor therapy for cognitive issues, but on that 18th day, when I was leaving the hospital, that's when I mentioned to my mom, as I'm signing out my papers, I go to her, "Hey, Mom, there was an angel with me, and he kept me safe." And she was pretty taken back. I'm still taken back when I think about it, because who's you're praying for these type of things. Just like when you hear about these injuries, I'm sure a lot when you start getting these movies or any of my teachers here, when you hear about these traumatic injuries, you're always wondering when they're in that space, is there something else out there? Did something visit them? And more times than not, the person that receives this vision or receives it, unfortunately doesn't remember it. I do. I remember a pretty good amount of it, and I was able to talk about it. But we kind of held off on that till the following day when we got home. So we get home, and it's pretty impressive to be home. And believe it or not, we had a dog. Also, we had a little puppy dog that we'd adopted about a year before. This poor dog, she had to live with so many family members. Probably thought she was being readopted, like our family was done with her. But we decided to take her for a walk around the block. And while I'm with my mom, I'm telling her about this whole experience. I'm telling her about how I'm like, "Mom, believe it or not, Mom, when I was with Giorgio, I was back in my own college house. I was put back in my college house. And my bedroom, it was the same. I woke up in my futon. My TV, my really poorly put together Walmart TV stand. Everything was the same. Everything looked the same. And even like when I looked out, when I looked out the windows, Mom, that was what was different. Looking out the windows, there was something that I never have seen before, can't recreate, but it felt like a peace when I woke up. But something woke me up in my bedroom, and I'm an early riser, so in college, with my roommates that day, I was a little confused because it's not normal for me to be asleep while stuff is going on downstairs. So that's when I decided to go figure out what's going on. My mind at this point felt like it was real world. It didn't feel like a dream. So my mind was just like, maybe it's a friend downstairs. Maybe somebody left the door open. Maybe a raccoon got into our house somehow, which would not be good. So I decided, I was going downstairs to go and check it out. And everything looked the same as I walked out of my room. So when I say like everything, there was a bathroom right next to my room. That bathroom was there. My two roommates' doors, they were there as I was walking by. The staircases that I'm walking on my way to walking down, that looked exactly the way it would look as I get down to the bottom of the staircases. The bathroom right at the bottom of the staircases, that was there. And as I started turning my head, obviously this room, our little living room, I don't even want to call this space, all looked the same. And that's when I turned to the left, and I see this guy that I have never seen before. And usually, I'm sure like when people think about this, they're like, when you don't see somebody, you may get a little defensive, you might get a little scared. But when I looked at this guy, I didn't feel that. I felt a peace. There was something very peaceful about him, and I wasn't threatened by him. So I just looked at him, and I simply asked him, "Who are you?" And he simply replies back to me, "I'm your new roommate." Now, when I heard that, I was a little frustrated. My friend Nick and Joe, I had known them for a full year, and I was thinking to myself, they're already done with me. These guys don't want to be my roommates anymore. Like they got this new roommate now, and these two friends of mine, they just brought in this new roommate. This is not possible. So I go to him, no, I have two roommates already. Their names are Joe and Nick. And he goes, "You don't need to worry about them right now. I'm with you now, and I'm your new roommate." So I was like, all right, well, then who are you then? And he simply replies back to me, he goes, "I'm Giorgio." And I'm like, all right, Giorgio, my name is Kevin. Now that's like the one thing that I always remember. Now during my time with him, I wish I could remember more of like the dialogue, because I'm sure there was a lot of conversations that we had. But what we were doing the whole time was we were building this perfect hangout room for all of our friends to hang out in. He would have me do schoolwork, which when I bring that up, my mom is a principal of De La Salle School in Freeport. At that time, she was a math teacher at St. Raymond's School in East Rockaway. So her hearing me say he had me doing schoolwork always catches her by surprise, because when I was your age and growing up, I didn't do a lot of schoolwork, so me saying schoolwork kind of threw her off for a whirl. So she always laughs at that one. She goes, "It took a saint to make you do schoolwork for the first time, Kev?" And I was like, "I guess so, Mom." And then also, when I was done doing that type of work, he would allow me to play video games. But when I was in this space, it wasn't like a sunrise or a sunset. It was always constant. And I wasn't allowed to leave the house. And that kind of got really annoying as well. And I decided that at some point I was going to try and sneak out on Giorgio. And I knew I could figure it out. I knew my house. I felt like I knew my house better than he knew my house. So simply find that moment, get to the front door, and he simply says, I get there, get to my hand to the door, And he simply stops me, puts his hand on me, and he goes, "I'll let you know when you're ready to leave." And that was my last memory of him. So as I'm walking around the block telling my mom this, she's like, bugging. She's like, "I have this photo of Giorgio. I have this photo," right? She wasn't saying that, but she was, "I have this photo of what I think, here's, can you think you can identify this?" So I get home, sitting downstairs waiting. My older brother was home from work, and I'm telling him all these things, and he goes, "These all make sense that you're talking about." Because when I was in the hospital, I was talking about getting back to my house and working on this room. I was talking about, hey, I need to get back to school. Hey, I need to go to GameStop. I need to get a video game. So all these things that I was talking about to my mom, Damien was like, "Wow, you were literally talking about all these things in the hospital. You probably don't remember this just yet, but he's like, this makes sense." So my mom comes downstairs, and she has the photo behind her back, and she goes, "All right, Kev, so this, let me know if this is who you were with." And so she pulls it out, and I go, "That's the guy." I'm like, "That's the guy. That is the guy that was with me while I was in my coma." And she was, we're all taken aback. Mind you, that portion of my testimony, there are other versions of it. Since it's a high school, you can all use your imagination. But that's how stunned I was, because he was like a big brother. So when he wasn't letting me out of the house, it was more or less I was frustrated. Like, this guy wouldn't let me leave my house. But he had bigger plans. So from there, still was doing inpatient therapy. That lasted about a month. I returned back to school in the spring, so I only missed one semester. Along the way, we learned that not only did I traumatize my brain, but it also shifted about a centimeter or millimeter or some very weird thing. And that kind of just adds on to how miraculous our God can be. As your principal mentioned, I did graduate from East Stroudsburg University. I did return to playing sports as well. I went back to playing lacrosse in the spring. I now am back to playing soccer and volleyball. And there's one thing I can leave you with this whole experience and sharing the story is if God can do this for me, imagine how much He can do for you. If God can do this for me, imagine how much He can do with you if you allow Him to enter your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We are so grateful to Kevin for sharing his testimony with us. We are running out of time, but we'll take just one question from a student. We sampled a few questions from some of the religion classes, and let's take just one of them to make this also very interactive. Okay, so Jack.
Okay. I'd like to start off by saying I think I speak on behalf of everyone. We say thank you so much for coming to speak with us and sharing your story. So I'll just start off with one question here. So how did your healing help you get closer to God?
Cool. It's a good question. I actually left that part of my testimony out of all of the portion because I saw that question and I felt it would be good to share. Before I was hurt, I was definitely I wasn't a practicing Catholic. Will never detest that. I was definitely not a practicing Catholic, but I was there to stand for God whenever I needed to. During college, definitely heard a lot of conversations and just a lot of things leading up to my injury. Just I think it grabbed me. God started grabbing me before I got hurt. My grandma, she was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer right around the same time as my birthday. My dad's father, he was diagnosed with dementia. We were living with him at that time, so we knew that we were all about to go on a journey and having to care for him. My good friend's mom, she was in a severe car accident before I got hurt. She was a severe cognitive issue. She unfortunately didn't make it. My good friend that I played soccer with, he was in a car accident before I got hurt. And all those things had me burning inside and had me start building this dialogue with God. And I can always remember having these conversations with him, like, why are you doing this? Like, what do you need from me? What can I do for you? If you're doing this now, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? Like, I was like, I'm like, instead of saying that, I was like, what do I need to do for you now? What do I need to start doing for you? How can we change all these things are, and leading up right before I got hurt. And once I woke up, and obviously my brain started coming back together, it made me realize, this is very real. This is all very real. Him allowing me to even speak is very real. I prayed to him all the time saying, hey, God, I have this cool story. When are you going to allow me to share this story, since I'm not going to go knocking on people's doors? And I could always hear, be like, don't worry, your time is coming. Don't worry, you'll be allowed to share your story. I want to make sure people can hear this story. So him and I, my relationship with him is as tight-knit as possible. I have conversations with him all the time. Whenever I'm at church, whenever I'm praying the rosary, it's really changed everything, and it allows me, when I go and speak at events like this, or at no events, when I'm just speaking with random people that aren't practicing, I have so much more wisdom, so much more faith, have it all to share with people that it just has changed me forever. So I don't think if I didn't fall through, I don't think I would be the same Catholic as I am today. So I think that's a lot of like how it's done for me. It's really just changed the way I just process everything, go through everything, and when I go and speak, allows me to let the Holy Spirit just come down upon me and share with you what I think is necessary to share for that day.